Glen International. The racing continues. The practice continues. The qualifying is next for the Xfinity Series. I'll be taken to the track for a couple of laps, 2 rounds, and seeing who can be fastest in their Xfinity Series car. Hi, everyone. Dave Burns now joining you, along with Steve Letarte, who's been watching first Cup Series practice. There's been a lot of action on the track there, though, but these Xfinity cars didn't get anything yesterday. They were supposed to have a couple of practices.
Yeah, and the practices did run, but so didn't the rain. It rained heavy all day, so while the practices did happen, a few cars took to the racetrack. Mostly everybody that was required to make a lap as a rookie. Everyone else that knows anything about Watkins Glen or knew it wasn't going to rain today didn't practice. So I think this is a complete unknown for all of these guys as they go out for qualifying.
Big advantage to the Cup drivers who were just on track. We'll see how that plays out. Playoff leaderboard looks like this. Christopher Bell on the strength of 4 wins now, Steve, pulling away.
Yeah, and the last 3. So not just 4 wins, but the last 3 wins coming here to try to get 4 in a row. But I'm really looking at the second half of that leaderboard. You look down there at Ryan Reed, Ross Chastain, Mike Lynette, Ryan Sieg. It's getting to that point in the year. I call it road course season, right? The Xfinity cars start here at Watkins Glen. They have multiple road courses over the summer to try to determine who makes the playoffs.
Road course crunch time, we'll call it that. And the cars that did go out yesterday, by the way, some were required as rookies, others were not. And in first practice, you see the ones on the left. Final practice there. The one interesting thing that I saw, Brandon Jones talked to him this morning, Steve, he didn't have to go out. They wanted to shake some things down on the race car. Almost spun out and got in the fence.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that was the risk. And there are trouble spots here in the race and in qualifying. When I think about qualifying, it's about lap time, not necessarily passing zones. Well, the 2 areas that really concern me, turn 1. It's a downhill braking zone, very rough on the rear tires, easy to wheel hop, spin out. You come up over the curb. Luckily, there's no gravel, so you won't damage your race car, but you can damage your tires and you can damage your lap. Basically, have to go all the way to the back. And if you somehow get through turn 1 unscathed and get up through the S's, it heads into the inner loop. The heaviest braking, without a doubt, is the braking into that right-left complex of the inner loop. It's the fastest part of the racetrack, and that is where the most lap time is created or lost. So you want to get through there clean and into the carousel. Watkins Glen, I think it is a perfect road course for stock cars. We're going to see why here during qualifying.
Very fast, very treacherous. You got to watch your step when you're at Watkins Glen International. The first of 2 rounds coming up, 20-minute first round when we come back. Back at Watkins Glen International, cars rolling out for qualifying. The rains of yesterday have led to a beautiful day to do just about anything at this racetrack. Hang out, watch the racing, camp with your family. And around this area, we're going to start to see the way we're going to do the broadcasting today for the race, Steve, and for tomorrow, our friends around the track.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a radio style. We have guys spread around the racetrack. It starts with Mike Bagley in the S's, the complex of 2, 3, and 4 as they climb the hill. They go down the backstretch into the inner loop and through the carousel. We put Dale Earnhardt Jr. out there on a perch. He has a great view. We just saw it in Cup practice. He was calling the action. And then down the turn 6 and 7 complex, we have Jeff Burton. So he'll handle the left to right. And then here, up in the tower, it'll be Rick and myself with some strategy, call the restarts. It's going to be a fun race later this afternoon on NBC.
Pit road?
Oh, well, listen, I let you professionals handle pit road. I can see it, but I don't call it.
We'll be down there. Kelly, Marty, and Dave will be on pit road, and anything that happens down there, we will let you know about. They have begun the first round, Steve.
So it's going to be a little interesting. I'm wondering, as you see 25 minutes in that first round, Dylan, I wonder if any cars are going to go out and run more than 1 lap and use it as a little bit of practice. Maybe get 3 or 4 laps in, give your crew chief a little bit of direction for the race later.
Well, and that's a good point, Steve, because for a lot of the guys in the field today, these are the first road course competitive laps that they've turned in almost a year. You have to keep in mind that the road course on the Xfinity side, they haven't raced since Road America last August. So the Cup guys in the field may be at a little bit of advantage. They had practice this morning, and they raced at Sonoma earlier this year. So obviously coming in with a few more laps, but for many of the guys in the field today, these are going to be the first time they've turned right and left since August of last year.
Dylan, pit road cleared out in a hurry. You see cars already on track, and as Steve alluded to, we expect some of these drivers to really use this qualifying session as a practice session, while others will strictly use it to qualify and try to put as few laps on their tires as possible. Another concern a few crew chiefs expressed to me, guys, is getting a clean lap because they don't know the agenda of the other cars on track. They said, we don't know if they're going to be out there running 1 lap, 3, 6, who knows? So trying to get that clean lap could be a challenge as well.
Kelly, that's such a good point, and Series Director Wayne Otten reminded us this morning. He's telling the drivers, by the way, you can't sit down at the bus stop inner loop and hope to find a hole down there. You have to, if you miss it, you have to keep on going once you come to a complete stop. Don't sit down there and look for that hole that Kelly was talking about to get your car out in clean air.
Yeah, what they're avoiding, as we saw at Sonoma in Cup qualifying, a mess of cars waiting, almost trying to stage on the back area of the racetrack. That is not what you are allowed to do, so just bring that up. It'll be interesting to see. I think this is a big advantage for the Cup guys.
Totally.
Just because they were on the racetrack. I'm going to go ahead and give you not a big shot. Guess who's quick? A.J. Allmendinger, not a surprise. Known as a road course specialist and having that Cup practice under his belt. He puts a good lap. Another Cup driver, Almirola, quickly to second.
Unfamiliar number, though, for those of you watching Allmendinger. That's the GMS Racing 23 car. And I thought, you know, who can we, now that we're not racing for the Drivers' Championship, who can we throw in the car this weekend? Let's get Allmendinger. He'll give us a lot of good feedback.
And one thing, you mentioned the rules, 2 rounds. The reason I bring that up is if it was 3 rounds, I think as a driver, you could take a little different approach, be a little more cautious, say, hey, I only got to be in the top 24. That's not the case. You have to be in the top 12. So maybe A.J. Allmendinger says, I'm confident I can be in the top 12, but I'm not sure there's really any other drivers in the field that are that confident. They're going to have to go out and really attack this racetrack. Maybe Logano's another one that has to feel good about what he's driving.
One more consideration during these sessions here, the NASCAR Xfinity Series rule on tires starting the race is that these that are on the car now are the ones you have to start it on. So there are so many places here, Steve, where you can be just off on your braking, lock them up, flat spot the tires, or have more trouble, as Austin Cindric just did in the 60, and then be left with those tires to start the race, or try to beg NASCAR to get you another set.
So that's your frustration. The 60 of Tim's, excuse me, Tim, I'm trying to make my father.
He'll appreciate it.
Austin Cindric is already second on the board. So, you know, this is a car that already had a good lap. You see him spin around in the carousel. I mean, that's pretty hard contact. This 60 is going to have to really look. We'll take another look at it. Oh, that's heavy, damn it. Look at the front of that car. I would safe to say that's going to be a backup car for the 60. We'll have to take a look and see what they make for a decision. That is funny. I try to make him his dad. Yeah, well, it's, you know,
front end damage.
His dad, Tim, the president of Team Penske, and Austin making his way around the world as a youngster on road courses like this.
And the problem is, I know it's a road course, and we think of Sonoma and slow and shifting, and all that's fair. Aerodynamics is huge here at the Glen because of the speeds. 175, 180 miles an hour on the back straightaway. And with that damage you see on the left front splitter, it's going to be interesting if this 60 attempts to try to fix that, or it just goes to a backup. I guess it really determines what kind of car they have in the trailer as a backup.
Well, and guys, one of the things that they had talked about coming into this weekend, obviously for the Xfinity Series, 3 of the next 4 races are on road courses. They wanted to have Austin Cindric in this car this week to try and use this as a baseline test to get them set up for this next stretch of road course races. Austin, obviously, with a lot of road course experience in various forms of racing, this is not the way they wanted to start that.
And Austin won't be in the car particularly, but that car will run, and so this was how they were going to baseline it. I know for a fact, Steve, that car, brand new body and chassis, according to crew chief Mike Kelly. Not sure what they have for a backup.
Makes it even more frustrating. You see Elliott Sadler in the 1 car right here, and a ton of traffic. But this is his 3rd completed lap and his fastest lap, which the reason I bring that up, if they were to practice yesterday, he would not run 3 laps. He would go out and run 1 lap. So I think this is a mix. And you mentioned the tires and the potential to damage them, as Austin Cindric has done. They also have to start on these tires, but you don't worry about lap count because they're such a good tire. They don't really lose a lot of grip. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if some point in the race later we see gas only. That's, you know, these guys are going to fight for track position, and this is the other guy I mentioned that I think has a great shot to be fast. Joey Logano, you see trending into the green already. This is down into turn 1, that heavy braking zone. Going to take a quick shot across to turn 2. Now this is the bottom of the hill, I call this. Turn 2. From here, 125 feet to the backstretch. You see him climb the hill, right-hander, left-hander. This is all wide open here. Another right-hander. Big wiggle out of the 22, though. He's able to stay wide open looking at the green, though. And then this is an area that I think A.J. Allmendinger excels in. We'll compare Logano to A.J. right now. He's trending green, gaining time into the inner loop.
Now going the other way, just slightly. Still with a nice buffer. to the outer loop.
Man, they make it look so easy. It's not, I can assure you. Now this is probably the second fastest area of the racetrack. The left-hander turns 6. And while AJ...
right now, driving just 1 lap, but that's what we talked about. With that plan.
See, a little information. We had a plan. They're watching our broadcast. They say, man, you're way ahead. You're almost a second ahead. Now this lets Allmendinger know there's a lot more out there because he's going to beat AJ Allmendinger by almost 7/10 of a
you're
second.
good, buddy.
I would call that good.
A lot of crew chiefs told me you'll see reruns in this session. There will be guys who just went out to try to get just a sighting lap, a pretty quick lap, but now they know what the standard is, and we see the cut line on the left. That is for round 1. If you don't make it in the top 12 here, you won't be contending for the pole in the final round.
And traffic, Cole Custer, I'm not sure he had a good enough lap, but that traffic killed him.
Oh, Brian Henderson has a problem in the 90. He's the right rear tire is off on that 90 car. And that will stop the session with 16:44 remaining.
Stop for a second here, stop.
Great job of getting the car stopped without spinning out.
Brian has a lot of road course experience, most of them in a Miata. He's running the MX-5 Cup Tour this year, and his second start here in a stock car, and hopefully didn't run over something.
That might be the biggest transition you can make, a Miata to a stock car.
I would think, yeah.
I mean, that's a full transition.
See what happened to Brian. And here we're getting it late into the going, and right now he knows he's got a problem, Steve, and he's heading to one of the biggest, fastest braking zones.
Well, he does a nice job. I mean, you see the car's wanting to pull to the left towards the grass. He knows if he gets on that grass, he's instantly going to make contact. That car wants to be out of control, but obviously he is still in control, not spinning it out, not getting into the grass or the Armco. Very well done.
Henderson will limp it back to the pit lane. Round 1 stopped. It will continue when we come back. This weekend, NBC is the place for NASCAR racing from Watkins, Glen International. The Xfinity Series race coverage later today at 3 Eastern. And then tomorrow, Monster Energy Cup Series race coverage begins same time, same channel, 3 Eastern on NBC. Some of the beautiful scenery in the area, and it looks like that today as opposed to yesterday when it was gray and rainy. Speaking of gray, driver of the 1 car right now.
You gotta give me more information than that. Are we 7 seconds off, 5 seconds off, 3 seconds off? Are we 20th, 30th, 10th? I have no clue where you're at as far as guys that can qualify trim and race trim.
A little frustrated.
A little frustrated, but I think it also lets you know if Elliott Sadler takes a lap around Charlotte, he doesn't need that much information. He can tell you from history that that wasn't as good as it needs to be. It didn't feel as good. It didn't drive as good. But, you know, he can't tell you, what, am I second off? Am I 4 seconds off? What am I compared to these other guys? That just shows you heard the report from Pit Road about how, you know, Dylan told us it's been almost a year since it's been road course racing. This is something that they're all very good at. I know we talk about some are better than others. They're all very talented race car drivers, but it is different, completely different than running in ovals. We see Kyle Larson trending almost a second better than Reddick. That's comparing to 12th now. That's the goal, going to be in the top 12.
Before we move on, Steve, explain to me what spotter Brett was talking about with not sure whether cars were in race trim or qualifying trim. This is qualifying.
Well, I think some guys with the lack of track time yesterday in the dry is using this qualifying session as a little bit of a practice. So they're out there with tape off the grill running multiple laps. As you look on the board, there's a lot of cars that have run 3 and 4 laps. We would never see that in normal qualifying. You know, they can't make many adjustments, but they can make a few, and they'll take this opportunity to work on their car to have it closer to how they want it for the start of the race.
Let's head down to Dylan.
And with the guy who's fastest right now here in this opening round of qualifying. So didn't get any laps yesterday, but car feels like it rolls off the truck good.
Yeah, you know, we had a good baseline to go off of over the last few years with the Snap-on Mustang, and it showed good speed to get going. It's always fun, you don't get used to the Cup car, and it's quite the advantage for the Cup guys right now as we had some laps on the racetrack earlier today, whereas the Xfinity guys haven't. But it's still fun. You get in a car and you don't really know where you can brake, how far you can drive in the corner, what the car is going to do, what it can and can't do, and you just bear it off in there and pray for the best. And we had a car that got through decent. I didn't feel like the lap was the prettiest, but it had speed in it. Maybe I can clean some things up myself, and and we've made some adjustments. I'm sure everyone's going to pick up a lot in the second round.
He's good right now. Going to try for better in round 2. Dave?
Dylan, 2 wins in 10 Xfinity Series starts for Joey, so he certainly is good around here. On board with Ryan Truex.
Something very interesting I'm seeing on this 11 is look right here on the dash. That right there is a shift light. It should flash at a certain RPM. See it flash right there? That lets him know to shift. Well, I was going to say, normally it's to shift. Right there in turn 2, he actually lifted. He didn't shift. That was like, oh, that's enough. But you see right here, see he shifted before it flashed. That doesn't surprise me. You kind of short shift, get in 4th gear at the right location. Now we'll watch it decelling into the inner loop. Big hard right. It's going to flash on the downshifts for sure. But I think we should see it on the upshift coming out of the carousel. So he's going to work his way into the carousel, part throttle.
It keeps the driver from doing what, Steve?
Well, it basically just keeps you from over-revving the engine on the way up. It lets him know, gives him an idea of when to shift. It's a little surprising, and not a lot of guys run them. Normally they can feel the RPM range. So right there, it flashed for a long time because he's not going to go to 4th gear. He's deciding to stay in 3rd. It's just one more thing to inform the driver. It's going to flash a lot on his way around here all day long, though. What a great view, though. So this is turn 1, and this will show you how difficult it is. Off into the distance. Look how it goes downhill, right out of sight.
Truex moved his way into the top 10 with that lap, Steve. And again, helmet cam, a little camera on top of his visor. He'll be giving us this view all day. The most realistic view you can get from our onboard cameras.
I can't wait to see. This place looks difficult by itself as we see Brad Keselowski jumps into the 5th position. Wait till we jump on that helmet cam in about 10th position, climbing the S's.
Yeah.
Not much going on.
Remember Keselowski in the 12 today, Logano in the 22. 2 entries from Team Penske. A little wiggle there coming up through the S's.
That tells you what track time means to these Penske drivers, right? To have both of them. We see them alternate the ride. A lot of different people come through the Team Penske cars.
Yep.
But I can't recall another race where we've seen both Brad and Joey in the Xfinity race. That tells me that...
Year after year.
Yeah, year after year.
Yep.
Fortunately, because we've had some battles between the two of them year after year.
Oh, and trouble for the 9.
Right in front of Keselowski.
Wow, Tyler Reddick spins and keeps going. And that'll blow that lap for Keselowski.
Blow that lap for Keselowski and
for Reddick.
Kill that set of tires for the 9 car.
See the roof flap deployed there. Thankfully wasn't necessarily needed.
Just loose right on entry. We heard Dale Jr. most of the cup practice talk about lateral grip, lateral grip, lateral grip. What does he mean? Well, lateral is instead of like the car getting squished down into the racetrack, lateral is kind of out to the side. So as you drive down in that 9 and try to stay on the gas, there's just nothing to lean on. There's no real banking. It's a flat corner. So it just spun right around on him. And around he went. I don't think we ever went under a yellow. I think it stayed green the entire time.
Just under 10 minutes remaining.
Not that that helped the 12. He was kind of not involved, but close enough.
No, and he's going to be good for round 2, it appears at this point. Just if they were learning something on that lap or if they wanted to better their position there. And so for Reddick, now let's talk about the tires again. So you're the crew chief on the 9, you're Dave Ellens. Do you automatically go to NASCAR to come over and inspect them and possibly work with you for a new set? Because they have to decide they're damaged, right?
Oh yeah, I would. If I was a crew chief on the 9, I would look on them. But if they're not damaged, I would tell them to go spin it out again.
I mean, make sure this time.
I mean, I'm joking, but
yeah,
you don't want to start in the set. You don't want to be at that big of a disadvantage. I mean, I can't imagine the car spun around without flat spotting them to a point where you don't get new tires. The biggest problem, I think, for the 9 is the tires hurt him, but he's only run 4 total laps. He's sitting in 20th. After he changes tires, he's going to go all the way to the back. That's probably it. This is the last bit of track time he's going to see before the race.
Oh, and hang on, Eric Almirola. Saw his crew chief, Richard Boswell, in the garage area this morning. And this is another brand new road course racing car. Stuart Haas put a couple of them out there this weekend, giving their drivers, with time and with funds to assemble, the best opportunity they can to try to win at the Glen.
Well, and this race today is 82 laps. Tomorrow's cup race is 90. So, I mean, other than the differences in the race cars and the horsepower and how they drive, I mean, it's the same track, it's the same tire, it's almost the same length race as you see him jump up to 3rd right there for Almirola. I think it will help them run the entire course of the weekend, Kelly.
You're looking at the two there of Matt Tiff trying to give it another effort to get inside that top 12. And as I talked about at the top of the show, they had trouble finding clean track to get him out in. In fact, they almost sent him out in front of a car thinking it was headed to pit road. It did not come to pit road. Anyway, Matt on his first run really just saying that he was way too loose, a 4 out of 5 loose, especially on exit on the right-hand turn. So they've made a couple little adjustments, I would assume, here on pit road to try to tighten it up there for the 2 and see if he can improve his time.
Well, with all these cars in the green, you see Tift in the green, all guys on the racetrack in the green. Custer is trending to the green. You know, you got the 11.
There's not going to be enough room, is there?
Truex and 18, a Priest, right? There's going to be guys that continue to get shifted out as you see it. Hemrick, I think, knows he's not going to advance with that lap currently. He's going to have to go back on the racetrack if he wants to move forward.
Good look at Allgaier here. One of the drivers last year who used 3 pit stops to his advantage in the race, put on some tires late, gained a couple of extra positions. Most talking about a 2-stop race on pit road, but we'll see. There are a lot of factors that play into whether or not you want to come down and get that 3rd set of fresh Goodyear tires that are waiting for you if you want them.
I'm not sure they're going to use 2 sets for their 2 stops.
There was that too.
We'll see. We'll see. Every time we think we have an idea what these guys are going to do, they come up with something different. This is the evolution of stage racing within road courses.
This was the first one last year.
Yeah, and it changes dramatically how these guys call this race. So as we see, Custer jumps up into the 8th position. That moves Hemrick out of the top 12.
Allgaier shuts it down with that 2nd place run. There's Cole. By the way, if you've been following Cole Custer on social media, he was able to achieve the necessary number of retweets to mandate his growing of the mullet and mustache for throwback weekend at Darlington.
Just telling you right now, as fast as Eric Jones was with that mullet, I'd have a mullet. Do anything I can to try to get faster. Elliott Sally, you heard his frustration over the radio, Dave. Well, this lap seems to be better. He's 2/10 is not a guarantee by any means. This last corner, but looks like he gets through there pretty good. Actually gains a little time.
Ryan Preece in the 18 this weekend. The modified driver, come NASCAR Xfinity winner. One of the few starts, I shouldn't say few starts he's made on the road courses, few starts in a Joe Gibbs racing car. Of course, it's run a number of them for several years with Johnny Davis Motorsports. It'll be a fun weekend for him.
See, this is a tough combination of 6 and 7. This is the last right-hander. See this wall right there. That's where Denny Hamlin made contact in cup practice. Kind of jumps right on at you. And I think you get as 4th. That's a good lap for Priest. I think you get up on those rumble strips, you kind of lose a little more grip, and it tugs you into the wall.
So Elliott, 10th. Does he want some insurance?
He's trying. Kind of trending the wrong way. This will be his 6th timed lap of the session.
41 drivers have taken time. That leaves 1 to go home. It was a 42nd on the entry list we got earlier in the week, but let's see what that's all about.
Sandler's just not going to improve right here. You see currently 10th. 21 of Hemrick.
Nice little curb hop there and a 4-wheel drift.
Very well done. You see how much time he gained back.
There. Does it look good?
Look, they're pumping him up. Look good through the bus stop. It's trending green. How about the carousel? Can he continue? Oh, he got off there well.
Saw Daniel and his crew chief Danny Stockman this morning. The high-speed rolling parts, including the inner loop and the outer loop. That's what this organization had to work on, and they felt like they were in a much better place this year. Didn't know because it rained yesterday, but it looks like they're making progress.
Well, what a second half of a lap compared to Jeremy Clements. He was about even at the end of the backstretch, and he's going to be inside the top 12 by almost a half a second. All the way up to 5th. That's a great lap for Daniel.
5, buddy. 1:12.95. Great job. Great job.
Just under 4 minutes left now, Kelly.
Christopher Bell in that 20 car sitting here on pit road. He's turned 5 laps, and it sounds like they might make one more attempt at it. If he's going to make 4 straight wins, it's going to be a tall order. His first ever start here at Watkins Glen, and the team had some feedback for him after his first 5 laps on track.
Into 1, I think. As you're braking and downshifting, you can stay out along the grass a little bit longer. I think you were kind of getting a little shallow, getting down to the curve there in one. So as you're straight line braking there, you can stay out along the grass a little bit more and kind of sweep it down along the curve and get your point a little better for off of one.
So you hear a lot of feedback for him. It's a lot of these drivers have used sim work, simulator work during the week to prep for this. Nothing like quite getting out there and doing it for the first time.
So I think this is a strategy. We see Christopher Bell down at 28th, but he has run 5 laps. I'm sure the grill was wide open, Dave. Go out and run 5 laps. Get used to Watkins Glen. You don't have many laps here. I think it's his first ever start in the Xfinity Series here, so he's kind of figuring it out. Now they'll come in for a good period of time, cool the engine down, tape it off. Downforce does matter, especially in this section up the S's, as we see the 61 maneuvering on that left side. Kaz Grala trying to get up through those S's. So I would be shocked if Bell doesn't make a major improvement on his time.
Kaz Grala looking good. Saw his crew chief this morning in the garage area. He said we wanted to make sure this car was exactly where Kaz needed it to be, so they took a bunch of laps yesterday in the rain, which Kaz is not unfamiliar with his road racing background, and learned a lot. They hope to apply here in the dry, and a number of other drivers told me that they expected Kaz to make round 2. It's going to be a little tight. He's trending the wrong way.
Dave, he turned more laps than anyone yesterday. It was a total of 8 very careful laps, as Kaz put it to me. And you mentioned his background. He's run some K&N races here, as well as 2 sports car wins here at Watkins Glen. Those were an 8-hour endurance races. But he said the biggest challenge really just being here in these Xfinity Series cars. He was way too loose on his first attempt at qualifying.
Kelly, thanks. And he missed a little something on that lap, too. We'll see if he stays out and tries to better it one more time. You saw Brandon Jones there briefly, back on board with Truex.
You see right here on the left side of your screen, you're on board with the 11 of Truex. The right side of your screen is the 20 of Bell, both trending in the green relative to Cindric in 12th. But remember, Cindric, even if he does advance, I don't think he's going to continue. He spun out and had a little damage to his car.
We mentioned Grala. He is still at speed, flirting with the green on the lower right.
Hundredths of a second in a road course is definitely flirting.
7 listed turns for NASCAR, but a whole lot more turning going on. There's a lot of places where you can make time or lose time.
I think you just hope you only turn in one direction when you go into most of these quarters. So Cindric has a great lap. I mean, he has really found some time in the second half of this lap. I mean, he's over a half a second to the good currently.
Truex, you mean? Yep.
I'm sorry.
That's right.
Relative to Cindric. Christopher Bell also finding some laps. It's going to be very close for Bell right here. We're going to see out of the last corner, a little over a 10th in the bank. He gifted up on entry. Will he make it back on exit? Doesn't look like he will. I'm going to let you call it. Good luck.
Oh, at the line. Yes, but for how long? Other drivers trying hard. Tift gets out of shape there.
And that's frustrating. You have to pass it free kind of on the bottom. It looked like it was clean. I don't think it bothered him. See, Tift it. I mean, that's enough time. You can make that up for sure.
Great turn 6. How does he go through 7? Oh, lost a little time there from the exit.
I don't think he's going to be able to make up 0.2 of a second on exit.
Not going to happen for Tift. Did Bell just squeak into round 2? Well, this driver may have something to say for it. Reed, nah, he's a little far out there in the red.
Yeah, although he's making it up on exit for sure.
Good through the high-speed section there. The inner loop now to the outer loop. Headed down toward, eventually today, Jeff Burton.
It's hard to believe we're talking about hundredths of a second with as many times as they shift, break, all the braking points. Car gets out of the way. Be very polite there. Gives some time up on entry. Rolls the middle, though. Continues to put power down. This last corner can be very tricky. We've seen a lot of races be decided in that right-hander. I think qualifying is going to decide it right here for Ryan Reed. That's not going to work. So, yes, Christopher Bell sneaks in to the final round in his first start in an Xfinity car here at Watkins Glen.
The man with a little pressure on him this weekend to tie an Xfinity Series record will go on to the final round. There's his crew chief, Jason Ratcliffe, saying, "Nice job, young man. Now let's see what we can do running for the pole." It was exciting. Talk to a couple of drivers when we come back to Watkins Glen. all the action of NASCAR and NBC with the NBC Sports app. You get closer with alternate camera angles, driver stats, and track information. Now available for watercraft. These are the drivers who did not make the final round. They will be starting today with the exception of one. You see Sadler just got eked out in 13th. Austin Cindric with that spin. Still wondering what the decision's going to be for the 60 car and driver.
Damage to the front splitter on that car. I'll have to see if they will be able to repair it. The 9 of Tyler Reddick will have to check and see if they're going to change tires. He also spun in that first session.
Bottom of the screen there, Stephen Light is the only driver who will not go through to the race in Mike Harmon's 74 this afternoon. It's fast at Watkins Glen. It can be a bit rough at times, and just about everywhere you go, something to leap over.
The final round of Xfinity Series qualifying, getting ready to get set. Justin Allgaier, second fastest in that first qualifying. When you look at the lap counts all over the board, some guys did in 1, some did it in 7. You did it in 3. How do you think that sets you up for this round of 12?
I hope, well, you know, we were hoping to maybe do it on 1, but we went out in the first part of that qualifying there in race trim and decided to cut it off after the first lap and then switch over to qualifying trim. And really just proud of the Camaro that these guys brought. Our brand professional agriculture Camaros are really, really fast. I've been prepping all week on iRacing, getting my butt kicked, mind you, but just trying to be as best prepared as I could be. Little did I know that it was going to be for the start of qualifying, but really proud of these guys, everybody back at Junior Motorsports. We've got a really fast hot rod for today's race, and so hopefully we can go out here in the second round and either duplicate or run faster. If we can do that, we'll be in great shape.
All right, I'll let you get to it. Thank you. We'll be back for the final round of Xfinity qualifying here at Watkins Glen.
Take your fandom to the next level just like Steve does and get the latest NASCAR t-shirts, twill jackets, hats, and die cast at the NASCAR shop. Visit NASCAR.com/shop for all your favorite drivers' gear.
Listen, I buy a t-shirt here or there. I mean, it's okay to be a fan.
You're going to be overloaded with Ryan Truex material after he wears that helmet cam all day today.
I know. Look at these two. They're having a good time. They got their pool in the shade, just lacking a little bit of water.
It is gorgeous here, folks. If you've not been to the Watkins Glen International, you need to come up. Austin Cindric has been here before. He's been very good here. This was not his best moment spinning in the outer loop.
Well, it just shows you how quickly it can happen. One simple mistake, out of the carousel, spins around. That arm cope area, you know, in the race, he could continue, but I believe that'll be a backup car. You see a lot of damage to that left front splitter on the 60.
Yep, Dylan Welch hustled over to the 60 guys, and they said they are rolling out the backup. So that will put him in perhaps second best equipment for the weekend. That's sometimes the way it works with y'all, but you try to build them the same.
You do, but you have to make compromises at times, especially for this Xfinity Series. You mentioned so many road courses coming up. So, see the 18, Ryan Preece.
I think for Ryan, this is about reminding the world what a good driver he is overall. Short track, super speedways now, and road courses, just showing what a shoe he is.
And I know, you know, Ryan's story is outstanding, but it's more than just a Ryan Preece story in my mind. This is also a short track racing story. You know, I'm a short track racer from around the country. I go to all of these races. I grew up at short tracks in New England. I think he is kind of proving to everyone that while we celebrate Xfinity and Cup and the best of the best who race on these great racetracks each and every weekend, there are very talented race car drivers at these little tracks all over the country. He's kind of, you know, this is one for the little guy.
All they need is a shot.
All he needs is a shot. Right here, we're going to see him at his craft right here. Little blip of the throttle. Now you see his left foot does not get far from that brake pedal. We'll see if he gives it a little practice pump. Nope, right to the heavy braking. One tap for the downshift. Modulates the brakes. Trying to get the power down. Now he's going to go through the right-hander. Heavy on the brakes. And I assume in this qualifying session it's going to be one lap and done. We'll see if that's the case. 1:13.2. I don't believe will stand up if those other cars, well, nope, because Austin Dillon is going to run a 12.6.
This will happen quickly. This is a 10-minute session. The clock began rolling when we came back from break. And Ryan's going to stay out there and take another lap, see what he can do to improve. Logano to the top, not a surprise. Keselowski, his teammate.
Evan.
Yeah. That's a nice lap.
That is a good lap.
And we would expect him to save his tires for the race and park it? What do you think?
Oh, yeah. I think you can also commit with grill tape and everything else, air pressure, and say this is going to be a one-shot thing. Allmendinger, a little surprised there, back and forth. He is, man, that's 0.8 of a second off Logano.
Hemrick to 5th. He supplants his teammate Dylan.
Allgaier, he ran, what, a 12, 5, or 6 in the first session. We'll see if he can find a little bit more to try to catch Logano and Keselowski.
Takes the green, runs through the gears, down through turn 1 and up the high-speed S's.
And I love to watch a comparison because it gives you an idea where Logano is very good. Remember,
Yes.
that's what you're comparing it to. So you see the 7 right here, about 0.3 of a second back. Oh, my goodness, those wiggles make me nervous in the S's. There's just no room for a mistake. If you go around, you're going to make contact. So keep in mind, okay, 0.4 of a second, almost 5 entering the inner loop. We'll take a little reference after this complex of turns.
Right, left, left, right.
And gained a bunch of time on Logano, right? He was 0.5 going in, down to 0.2 coming out, so better through the inner loop, and then gives time back through the exit of the carousel.
Yeah, not too much, a little flat there, but trending the wrong way.
I know this is hard to believe when we talk a half a second off, but there's almost 0.4 to second. So he has a really good shot at ending up in the top 3 right here.
You see Priest was not able to pick up his time. And will be slowest of the drivers who have taken an official lap already.
An awful turn.
Yep.
7. You see that? Lost almost a half a second in one corner. Welcome to road course racing. A 7-turn road course, 6 really well done corners, and 1 not so well done corner, and it kills your lap time. That happens in the race. I'm sorry, Dave. You're going to pass him going into turn 1, right? If you hurt that last corner, much like right here, the 20 of Bell, if he has an issue here, you're going to get passed into the next corner.
Captain Cool on track now, but road courses were not in his blood as a youngster. He has adapted well on the simulator, so I'm told. We'll see how he does now in his first shot in a very quick qualifying lap in the Xfinity car coming to the green.
You got to take a guess
As to
where he's going to end.
I'll go with 6th.
I like where you're at. That's what I was thinking. I think he'd be pretty happy with 6th.
Oh, I think he'd be thrilled with 6th.
Notice how I asked you but didn't give.
Yeah, I saw that. You said you were in the neighborhood where I was.
Yeah.
I can live with that.
So we have Christopher Bell on the left. That's Ryan Truex wearing the helmet cam on your right-hand side. He's just exiting turn 1 on the right. Christopher Bell in the back stretch on the left. Slide by the 20 hit my attention.
He's 0.8 off. I don't know if that's going to meet my standard for 6th.
I don't know. It's closer than you think.
Truex is following Bell on the track. Final 2 corners for Bell. Here's the one that Allgaier got wrong.
The 20 didn't much. Did I see how much lower off the corner he was? How about 9th? 8th or 9th?
Oh, now you say now that you
Can I wait till he finishes the lap? Be friends?
8th or 9th. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, he's not going to stay there, I don't think, because I think Ryan Truex comes out of the last corner. He might beat Bell.
Leads it out to the wall, to the line. Where does that put Truex? There's my 6th guy, except he was 7th. Nice runs by those 2 young men, and that leaves Logano clear to the top. Now, there is still time if Truex wants to continue to put another lap down. It looks like he's...
Oh, I think he's had enough.
Yeah, I think so, too. Cruising now. So we may be able to tell where a little bit of speed was lost for the road course rookie Bell.
Yeah, this is the moment that got me. Look at that. He's turned to the right. The car's going left, but he has turned to the right. That is a big slide through the inner loop. That's an action shot. Let's ride on board here. Watch this. You heard him get on the gas and stepped out. And that's single car by himself. Later today, cars are going to go. That is a passing zone, and if someone contests, you know, normally if someone gets inside, you have to make a decision. I'm going to let this guy take the position into the inner loop, or I'm going to contest. And when they decide it's time to contest, listen, two cars don't go through there and both stay on the asphalt. Now, sometimes they both continue, but someone uses some grass, the other guy uses some curves, so it just doesn't work. As we see Keselowski, he looks like he's going to come back out and give us one more shot.
Well, and Steve, Brad felt like he underdrove that first round, or the first run in this round. So Brad feels like he can get a little more. That spot right there was where they felt like they lost some time. So they're going to go out here with these minutes or so winding down and see what they can do.
A little pride on the line here at Team Penske.
This is why you race. I can't let my teammate beat my. I can go back down. Let me try
I know I got more. I know I got more.
Oh, yeah. So this is going to be, in my mind, what you're looking for, because Brad Keselowski and Joey Logano, the Penske teammates, have really figured out road course racing. I think Joey Logano's got a little best of Brad Keselowski lately in Xfinity qualifying here at the Glen.
3 in a row. If he wins the pole today, that's 4 straight for Logano.
So he's kind of bested everyone.
Here we go. Keselowski starting in the green. Hemrick's going to get another try as well.
Yeah, Brad trended in the green on corner entry to turn 1, giving it back on his exit from 1 to 2. You mentioned 3 in a row for Logano. Well, it's been 7 in a row for Team Penske.
Brad up through
close.
the S's.
All right, who can do the inner loop better? We're going to see. They're basically even heading down the backstretch. Keselowski versus teammate Joey Logano.
No dirt tracking through there.
And a lot of time made up, almost 0.3 of a second. Now he's into the carousel, a little high, but he gets a decent run off.
Great look back at the driver.
Little chip, he decides to not go to 4th gear. That's pretty normal. Into this left-hander right here. Last corner, turn 7.
Oh!
He had it. He had it.
Oh, it was in the bank.
Just destroyed 11.
11,
or
7.
7.
You're going to hear that a lot. That's the last corner.
Destroyed turn 11. Missed it by a long shot.
Joey's like, whoa, I'm glad he missed that last corner.
Because he could see.
Oh,
I'm sure he's looking at one of the monitors down there. Daniel Hemrick came across. He'll be 5th, but oh, so close.
But so listen, they make it look so simple. That just shows you how much on the edge these guys are. Brad Keselowski, I mean, flat missed the last corner, and he had done so well leading up to there.
See if Priest can do better than 12th where he sits now. This lap will count. He started it before the clock expired.
Big improvement, it looks like. Big improvement.
Very good.
Lap time, yeah,
Yep.
4 spots.
Not bad at all. Well, big smile on Joey's face now, Dylan. Was there any nerve there at all?
Well, we're going to step in here and try and grab him. He's talking to crew chief Brian Wilson. We'll see if we can jump in here and grab Joey real quick. And he's still debriefing here, so see if we can come back to him and grab him here in just a minute. Joey, you ready? Well, let's talk about it. Fastest in round 1, fastest in round 2. Barely. Survived Brad's advances there. How important is the track position at the start of this race?
Oh, you know, it's always nice to be towards the front on a road course. You never know what's going to happen in the back there. And essentially, no one's got many laps on their cars, so it's nice to get the Snap-on Mustang on the front row again and get another pole here. That was really cool. Just, man, I thought Brad was going to get me. I was watching your tracker on TV, and I didn't have a very good bus stop, and I saw Brad got a couple tenths there, and I was like, oh, dang it, we just gave it away. Because we couldn't get our car turned around quick enough to get back out there to try to make another run, and then he got loose down there. So I might have got a little lucky. So either way, I'll take it, and I'm sure we're going to have one heck of a race all day, just like we have the last few years here.
He's won from the pole here twice, going to try and make it 3 today at Watkins Glen.
Dylan, you need speed, you need tires, you need good pit stops, and a little luck doesn't hurt as well. Joey Logano on the pole again. So many satisfied race fans at Watkins Glen International this weekend, and they just saw a nice qualifying round, Steve, with Team Penske teammates going for it.
Well, I think that heavyweight battle is going to continue for 82 laps later today. Team Penske has showed they know how to qualify here. We're going to watch them in the race. A couple other Cup guys here on the second page. Eric Almirola inside row 5. And don't forget, Christopher Bell, not a lot of road course experience, but going for his 4th win in a row in the Xfinity Series.
And you saw Austin Cindric qualified on the outside of row 7. He'll be starting from the rear of the field, though, in a different race car as he damaged his primary 60 by spinning in the outer loop. A couple of names you don't normally see, some gentleman racers in the field today who know Watkins Glen well and are getting a shot in the Xfinity Series. Kelly?
Well, you said it, Christopher Bell, without a lot of road course experience, had never even seen this place until he turned up for practice yesterday, which, of course, was a washout. So to make the final round, Christopher, how pleased are you with this qualifying effort?
Yeah, I'm thrilled. That was really, really stressful. Probably the most nervous I've been getting in a race car, going to straight out to qualify at a place we've never been before. But, you know, I really like this format because we were able to kind of go out there and make a practice run that first run. And I felt okay, and I got in a lot of traffic, so I never really got to put a lap on the board to see where I was besides my first lap on the track. So came back in, thought about it. Then they put some tape on the grill, and we went out there, and luckily my car was fast enough to put it in the top 12. So that's really cool and something I'm proud of, and just going to try and finish one out.
All right, going for 4 straight wins. He starts 11th.
That would be big, Kelly. We'll see that later this afternoon. Here's everything that's happening on our network here. NASCAR America is coming up next. Don't forget, after the races today, Racing Roots with Martin Truex Jr. and then Monster Energy Series qualifying. The race of the afternoon will be the Xfinity Series. Join us for Countdown to Green at 2.